From the Penn Theater in Las Vegas, Nevada, here's our host, Jonathan Ross.
You're very kind. Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed. We have a fabulous show for you tonight. The illusions will leave you in more ecstasy than the crowd at a Calvin Harris concert. One for the kids. Now, time to meet the men of the hour, the prom king and king of Magic High. It's Penn and Teller. Mr. Teller, looking good as always. Penn looking slim and good to go. Teller, ladies and gentlemen. So sit back and get ready to be amazed because it's time to meet our first magician.
I'm Riley Siegler, and I'm that magic kid. This is a huge opportunity, and I'm as excited as I've ever been. I mostly do close-up magic, cards mostly, but sometimes I do coins, sponge balls, you know, everything. I perform outside of Nats because I'm trying to save up money for Magic Camp. I think I'm an ordinary kid most of the time. Well, more weird. A lot of kids, you know, like try to act as normal as they can so they can be popular. I just really don't care about being popular, and so I just do what I want to do, sort of. But my parents fully back me up in my magic and everything I do. Well, I want to perform in Las Vegas, you know, hi. I also want to be, you know, a famous magician like Penn and Teller, because, you know, I just love to do magic, and if I can get paid to do it, then, yeah.
So our next performer is just 13 years old, making the youngest contender in this edition of Full Lust. Let's hope that tonight for him, 13 is a lucky number. Please welcome the calm, cool and collected Riley Siegler.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is a huge opportunity for me. Thank you, Penn and Teller, for letting me perform on your stage at the Rio Hotel. Do you mind coming up here, please? Hello, Teller. Nice to meet you. I just want to say I've always looked up to you.
Very nice to meet you, Riley.
Yeah. So have you both heard of this game called 3-Card Monte?
I have.
Good. For those of you who don't know, it's a game that they play in New York City where they try to scam you out of your money. I'm not going to do that to you.
Good.
I'll do it to you. The point of the game is to follow the money card. That's going to be the queen. So where's the queen?
Right there. Why don't you play with him?
Okay, good. They do want you to win the first 2 times, so then you bet more money later. But then they add in our distraction card. That's going to be the 9. So where's the queen? We'll try this again with 3 cards. Maybe that'll make it easier. Do you mind holding out your hand?
I don't.
Thank you. We're going to place the queen right there in your hand. Mm-hmm. So where's the queen?
I believe it's right here in my hand. Should I turn it over?
Okay. Close.
Close, very close.
Do you mind holding out your hand? Thank you. We'll place the 9 right there in your hand. So where's the queen? Okay, good. You're getting the hang of it. We'll make it easier for you.
Please.
We'll place the queen up here in my pocket, so
Okay.
you know where it is.
I do.
So where's the queen?
Up there in your pocket, where I know where it is.
Okay, we'll try again. You know what, I have to confess something. I'm cheating.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm using 3 9s.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Thanks. I didn't lie to you about the first part. I did put the queen up here in my pocket earlier.
Uh-huh.
Well, now it's really unfair because there's 4 cards.
I see.
Yeah, so I'll get rid of this extra 9.
Okay, good.
So now we're back at the starting position, right?
You are.
I still feel bad about lying to you before.
Okay.
So, I'll make it a bit easier.
Okay.
Make it so there's 2 queens.
Oh, that's easy, isn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, I've just admired you for so long, I'll make it a full 50% chance. So now there's a full 50% chance that you get a queen.
Okay.
Well, that's because I have the 3 9s up here in my pocket.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Actually, right now, do you mind inspecting the sleeve? Just making sure that it's a normal sleeve that you can get at any magic store. Good? Okay, thank you. We're going to place the 3 queens down right there. So then we have the 9s over here. I'm going to place them inside the sleeve. Right there. So we have the 3 queens over here. So where are the queens?
Right there, in your hand.
All of them?
All 3 queens right there in your left hand.
Okay. I tried to give you a chance with that 50% thing. See, the 3 queens are over here, but it's not your fault, because that is how 3 card, Monty, looks.
Riley Seagull, ladies and gentlemen. That was super. Come down here, young man. What a fabulous job he did. Hey, you'd like to make this your career? This is what you like to work in the future?
Yes,
okay.
If I can.
And where do you perform normally? Where do you get your experience?
I actually perform outside a diner in LA.
Okay.
And I perform there every Sunday.
And you do it for money, or do you just do it for fun?
I do it for free, but then people can tip me, and that's how I get enough money to go to Magic Camp.
That's fantastic. Okay, Riley, you did a great job. I know the fellas loved seeing you work. We're going to find out whether they know what you did. But let me tell you, they busted some of the best magicians of the business. So whatever happens, you did fabulously well. Let's go to Penn.
Well, first of all, you did fabulous. What a wonderful routine it all put together. And with such panache and style and confidence for someone your age. I wish I'd have had that. Look straight ahead. If you don't like what you see, go down a different road, because you're exactly what we were when we were 13 years old, except probably a little better. And you have all the qualities you need to be a magician. You have the style, the class, the confidence, and something that's usually not considered a good thing, but in that routine was a very, very good thing, and is a very good thing for you in that you are a two-faced kid. That's what you are. You're two-faced. You're lying and you're two-faced. We have a pretty good idea of what you did. We also want to help you expand a little bit. We have a Penn and Teller Fool Everyone magic kit for you right here. That I think you'll do great with. So enjoy that. You did a wonderful, wonderful job. Thank you, Riley. You can take that with you. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Great job. Riley Seagull, ladies and gentlemen.
Great job. Great job.
Okay, let's take a quick break. Stick around though for more magical mayhem, including a special performance by the world-renowned Penn and Teller. See you then. Welcome back to Penn and Teller Fool Us. Now, we're like a workout video, really, except instead of making your fat disappear, it'll probably just be a beautiful assistant. So let's say hello to our next potential fooler.
Hi, I'm Jade. At a very young age, my family and I moved to America looking for a better life, and we found it. When I was 16, I was offered a job at the magic shop. I wasn't interested in magic, but I wanted to work, so I took it. I was so shy back then that they threatened to fire me, and the threat of that encouraged me to overcome my shyness. My first show was a little elementary school show, and I realized I loved performing for children. I decided I wanted to do more. Once I mastered performing for children, performing for adults was effortless. Magic has brought out a way for me to express myself. People paint, people dance. I do that with my magic.
Please welcome Jade.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. At this moment, I would like a volunteer to come up to help me out with this routine. Sir, in the plaid, if you don't mind. Please, let's give him a nice big round of applause. What's your name?
Tom.
Tom, thanks for coming up here and helping me out. And Jonathan, at this point, I would like for you to help me out as well. Let's give him a nice big round of applause.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Jonathan,
You want me over
nice
here?
to meet you. Now, in a moment, I will get to that. Yes. Right here, right now, what I'd like for you to do for me, Jonathan, is to have you plant your feet firmly on the stage, face the audience, about shoulder width.
My shoulders are your shoulders.
That's perfect. Wonderful. All right. Now, if you don't mind, I will put the pole right next to your foot
Okay,
here.
yes.
If you'll extend your arm up here and hold on to the pole, the bamboo pole right here. Exactly.
Okay.
And we'll look cute together. Now, this is when I say, Jonathan, will you please assume the position? This will be the position.
If you say so.
So, Jonathan, would you mind just putting the bamboo pole on the table for now? Meanwhile, Tom, we've got a very sharp pair of scissors I need for you to put away for me. Maybe in your pocket somewhere that you won't hurt yourself with. And Jonathan, I have a kryptonite green cord. Hold on to that. Check it out. Pull on it. Stretch it. Tom, you have one as well. Check it out.
Yep.
Does it feel strong?
Strong.
Like it's not going to break? There are no weak points, correct?
Strong.
So, gentlemen, why don't you step a little closer so my perfume doesn't go to waste?
That's good.
Okay. Now, continue holding on to the cords between your hands, just in this position. I will ask you both to tie me up because it's so short. I think the best thing for you to do is to tie up just my thumbs. Is that okay? It's okay.
Well, come on, it's Vegas. Let's go crazy, shall we?
Another show, perhaps.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Okay, so Tom, if you don't mind, I will turn my back to you. But Jonathan, you will be the first.
Okay.
Would you please tie my thumbs together? Pull upwards,
like
put a
this?
nice tight knot.
A nice tight
Yes.
knot, like that.
Yes, pull as tight as you can. Put some muscle into that.
Yeah, all right.
As tight as
I
you
don't
can.
go too tight.
No, a little tighter.
What's
a
the
little
safe
tighter.
word? Come on,
Tighter.
let's establish something here.
No, go ahead,
Okay,
go ahead.
that's it, high as I can
Okay,
go.
one more knot on top. That
I'm
one.
exhausted. Okay, one more.
knot.
Okay.
Yes, that'll hold everything in place.
You're crazy.
You got that? As tight as you can?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to show you what Jonathan's done so far. My thumbs are securely tied. And now, Tom, this is your chance. Face the audience. Right. You can rearrange your arms if you like. Yes, perfect. Pull a nice tight knot there. Oh. Okay. I get it. Okay, one more knot if you don't mind. That'll lock everything in place. Okay, good. Very good. Tom, do me a favor. Take 2 big steps to the left. 1, 2. Very good. And now this is when you assume the position for me. Tom, take those 2 cords closest to you. Tie 2 more knots. Do it as tightly as you could. Tie. Very nice. Do that as quickly as you can. Pull. Very nice. As tight as you can. All right, take out the scissors if you don't mind and cut off the extra ends. Not too close to the knot right there. All 3 of them if you don't mind. All right, now, Tom, will you tell the audience, am I securely tied in here?
Yes.
Yes. Jonathan, take a look.
You look tied up to me. That's
Excellent.
it.
Nice and tight.
You're secure.
All right. Now look at this. I'm going to show the audience. If you'll take a quick look, this is how it looks. It all happens very quickly. I need you to just try not to blink when I count to 3. Good, Tom? Yep. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go then. 1, 2, 3. Ha! Thank you, Jonathan.
Oh my God.
Well, let's try it again. I want you to watch very closely. Hold on to the pole very tightly. Make sure nothing happens.
Yep.
Ha! Tell them, Tom, am I still securely tied in here? Nothing's changed. One more time.
Okay.
Yes, one more time. 2. Here we go.
Wow.
Is that still 2 there?
It's still tied up. It's still solid. Yeah, and then right through
Nothing's
it.
changed. That's right. Right through your arm. Hold on to that right there. Excellent. Watch very close. Right through the arm. Here we go. Will you tell them, am I still securely tied in here?
Still secure.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
The last and final one will actually be the most dangerous one for me. And this is where I need you, Jonathan, to keep your feet in the same position,
Yes.
but to have 2 hands on the pole. 2 hands.
Come on. You're making up your own jokes now. Okay.
This pole.
Okay.
Yes. And you can pull it closer. There you go.
Wow.
Is that comfortable? Is that good?
It's very familiar.
I'm still securely tied, right?
Still tied.
All right, I want you to watch very closely. Here we go then. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ha!
Whoa! That was incredible.
Would you walk towards Tom?
Yeah, sure. Let's go this way. You wanna...
Tom, you have to cut me free.
Come on,
Okay,
come
no,
into
I am free.
Let's
And
go.
I'm free. Let's get
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go. So let's give Tom a nice big round
Let's
of
give Sonny that applause. Let's give Jerry the big round of applause as well. Jerry, that was phenomenal. That was stand out here.
Thank you.
Penn and Teller was studying the whole performance, and I hadn't met Jay before the show, so we hadn't done anything beforehand. They didn't let me see that act. Of course, Penn and Teller didn't see it either. That was phenomenal. We have quite a lot of women magicians on the show, but we have far more men performing. So is it something you'd encourage women to get into, magic?
Absolutely. I love it when I perform and the little young ladies come up to me and they look at me and they say, I really loved your performance. And in my heart, I just hope that somehow they'll go home and think, you know what? I don't see a whole lot of women out there, but I saw one. Maybe I could do that.
Yeah, that's
right?
a lovely, empowering message for all of the young women watching. Absolutely, on message. Guys, what do you think of Jay's act, and do you know how it was done?
Well, it's wonderful to see this done by a woman. It is, we believe, a Japanese trick. Originally done, the paper you're using is the ropes you're using around Japanese
Exactly
woven paper that actually helps the trick work. I don't want to give away anything on this trick because the thumb tie is one of the classics of magic. And there's lots of different versions of it, and it's always entertaining and it's always funny. And I believe the version you're doing was done, at least originally as far as we know, in probably the 1930s by a Japanese acrobat magician group called the Tanichi troupe that toured all over the U.S. and were very, very famous. It was a wonderful part of their act, and it was terrific. And seeing that done by a woman is really wonderful. We can go into more of how it's done, but I think Tanichi should be enough.
It's good enough. Thank you very much.
So, Jay, you're confident. They know the techniques being used there. Wow, they do know their stuff, don't
They
they?
do know their
fabulous show you gave us. Thank you so much. Let's say thank you again to Jade, ladies and gentlemen. That was lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's time for a commercial, and as Shakespeare said, parting is such sweet sorrow, which I would say, but I really can't pronounce the word sorrow. So enjoy these, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Fool Us. Let's meet our next contender.
My name is Randy Shine. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I got started magic in graduate school. I really wanted to be a doctor or a nurse, but I just saw some individuals doing magic in the student cafeteria, and magic is contagious. It is. I went to my advisor and said, I'm going to take a year off to perform magic. She looked at me like I was crazy. I just said, I just need to give myself one opportunity, one chance, just to see if I can do this. 9 years later, I'm still performing. Traveled all around the world, over 20 countries. Performed for 2 presidential inaugurations. I think I can pull Penn and Teller. No, actually, thinking comes from not knowing. I know I can.
Here he is, Randy Shine.
Ubuntu is a South African philosophical concept that means I am because you are, and you are because I am. It speaks about the symbiotic relationship between 2 individuals. Some even suggest that if those 2 individuals have a strong connection, they will always be bounded together. So tonight, I'd like to test that concept utilizing Penn and Teller. Can you please join me on stage? Thank you.
Hello,
Hey, how are you? How are you? Penn, would you be so kind just to slide one card, just one card out the deck?
I will.
Okay, good.
That card right there.
Yes, right there. And just like you were playing a game of poker, I want you just to cover it and just peek at the card.
I will do that.
Remember the color of the suit and the value of the card?
The suit and value of the card, okay.
Okay, and slide it back in.
I will.
Anywhere you want.
How about there, Teller? Is that okay?
That's good. Now, Teller, you're going to select the card also. However, you're going to do this by chance. Your choice, the blue pill or the red pill. That's what we call dice in the hood. Go ahead. Now, since a die has 6 sides, I'm going to deal 6 equal piles of cards. I want both of you to watch to make sure that I'm not utilizing any fancy sleight of hand. Each and every card is coming from the top of the deck. Teller, can you pick up the die, please? And be prepared to roll it in a few seconds. Now, a Penn, I get a sense, neither one of these are your cards. Is that my card?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Teller, roll the die. Good. Now, it's your choice. Should I start counting from this side or this side? This side. That's 1 right here. What we're doing right now is we're eliminating cards until we narrow it down to 1 final card in the deck. Teller, can you pick up the die again? And I will deal another round of 6 cards. 6 even, and right there. Penn, any of these are yours?
No.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, and roll the die, Teller. 4. Should I start counting from this side or this side? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's recap. A deck of cards was spread on the table.
That's right.
You selected a card.
I did.
You looked at the card.
I did.
You memorized the color of the
Oh,
suit.
the memorized part I didn't do. No, I'm kidding. Joking. Just joking. Just kid once in a while.
And Teller, you selected a die. You rolled a die. You selected the number. And you decided what side I should start counting from. And we did this several times until we narrowed it down to 1 card and 1 card only. In the beginning, I said, this is a test of the concept called Ubuntu, the symbiotic relationship between both of you. Penn, what was the card you selected?
Card I selected was the 3 of Hearts.
And that, my friends, is proof that no matter what decisions you make, Penn and Teller will always be connected.
Randy Shine, ladies and gentlemen. Come on around, Randy. That was super impressive. Thank you. Now, the guys specialise in this kind of thing. You know that and I know that. There must be something new or something very different you're doing there that I think you can fool them.
Yeah, I think I can. I think I'm doing a little something.
Something you invented yourself?
Little tweaks here and there, or something old.
Okay, so something they won't know. And have you shared this with anyone else yet?
A few.
Yeah, because occasionally that could be the risk. Magic is a fairly small world, and sometimes, obviously, guys share techniques, they share illusions, and sometimes the guys get it easily because they've encountered someone who's something about it. Doesn't seem to be the case this time. I think Penn and Teller are ready to talk. Let's find out what they have to say.
Randy, sir, what a nice routine. Very, very nice routine. You know, you said something very true. in that routine. A lot of times magicians lie all the way through. But you said at one point there were no fancy sleights in this routine. No fancy sleight of hand. You said that outright. And I think during that moment, you were telling the truth. Because I think that that card trick could have had double endings. Could have had two different endings, two different sides of the way that trick could have gone. As a matter of fact, a guy by the name of Claude Ricks, is that right? Claude Ricks might have had a good idea of the way the two ends could have been. We giving you enough hints right here? Do you want more?
Yes, yes.
So you're confident they know what you did and you didn't fool them?
I'm confident that they know what happened.
Well, okay.
Nicely done.
Randy Shine, ladies and gentlemen.
Nicely done, Randy.
Tricking these guys is difficult. When we come back, we'll see if someone can finally fool Penn and Teller. Don't go away. Welcome back to Penn and Teller Fool Us. It's a bit like a political debate. The most successful contestants are often the best liars. Let's meet our next fooler now.
Hi, I'm David Ruff. Some people say I'm their mentor, but I think I just helped them out with a couple of tricks. From the Magic Castle, I have several awards, Visiting Magician and Close-Up Magician and the Lecturer of the Year award, and then I got a Creative Fellowship. That was a great honor. In the old days, coin tricks were short. You make a coin disappear and you pull it out of somebody's ear. I wanted tricks that were longer, more theatrical, so I created some original effects that nobody had ever seen before. A lot of people now do these routines and they don't realize it's my material.
Our next performer is a magician of the old school. And let me just remind you, we don't use camera tricks or false editing. Everything you see is as it happens. So please welcome the supremely gifted David Ruff.
Thank you. Penn, Teller, would you mind please joining me at the table?
I can't wait to see it.
How you doing? Good to see you. I have something I'd like to show you. These are U.S. Kennedy half dollars. I won't be using all of them, but 4 coins and a cup. Now, very few people know that if you hold the coins in the cup at just the right angle, there's something in that cup, and I think it's a coin. There are only 3 coins here. This is the first coin to travel from my hand to the cup. That leaves 1, 2, 3 coins left, and that's the first one. Please notice, I do not send them up my sleeve. They go straight to the cup. That's how the first one went across. Listen. And the second one goes the same way. Which leaves just 2. 2 coins have traveled, 2 coins left to go. Now, I'll be honest, because you guys know a lot about magic. And the only reason you didn't see these go is because it happened by magic. That was the first one. That was the second one. Watch the third one. Listen. Did you hear it? Me neither. Must be hush money, because there it is. So that's 1, 2, 3 coins in the cup. Last one's the hardest, because you know what I'm going to do? It's already done. And that's how you send 4 coins to a cup. You think I didn't even use a magic wand. I don't have a magic wand, but I do have a chopstick, which is almost as good. And with these coins and this chopstick, I will show you something amazing. 1 in the hand. Watch. Nothing's happened yet, but if I just make a magic pass and wiggle my thumb, that coin will change to a Chinese coin with a hole in the center. It isn't worth as much as these 3 silver coins, but it's still worth keeping. So I'll do it again with coin number 2. The idea is the same. It hasn't changed yet. But I just need to make a magic pass and wiggle my thumb, and that coin will change to a Chinese coin with a hole right through it. 2 coins are left. I'll do the next one visibly. That means you actually see it change from a silver half dollar to a Chinese coin, just like magic. And watch the last coin change from a silver half dollar to a Chinese coin, back to silver, back to Chinese, back to silver again. And one more thing. I drop the last one in the cup, give the cup a shake, they all change back to silver. And that's why they call it magic. You know, maybe I'm using too many coins. Watch this one, then these. 1 in the hand, and 1, 2, 3 in the cup. Now watch this coin, because it's gone. Really gone. Truly gone. Which leaves just 3. I'll do it again. Watch this one, then these. This one, then these. 1 in the hand and 2 in the cup. Now watch this one, because it's gone. Really gone. Truly gone. Which leaves just 2. Watch the count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's gone. Really gone. Truly gone. Which leaves just 1. Now, what do you do with a single coin? I can put it over there, bring it up over here. If I touch it to my elbow, it'll come over here. If I try to put it back, it'll come out over here, so I'll put it over there and make it jump across it. Or I could drop it over there, and you think it's here, but it isn't, because sometimes they really disappear, but they never go far. There it is. Or I could always make it 20 times larger.
David, that was incredible to watch. I saw that when your name came on the screen and when Penn and Teller saw who was going to come out, they both smiled. They must know your name. I know you're very well known and respected in this industry. How long have you been performing for?
Oh, since I was 10.
Wow, so 5 or 8 years?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And the trick you just did there, is this one of your own? Because I believe you have created a lot of tricks.
Oh, yes. That was all original material.
Wow. Some of your tricks are being used by other magicians, I know. How does it feel when you see one of the new kids on the block doing one of your tricks?
If they do it well, it's very gratifying. If they do it badly, I'm sorry I ever gave it away.
So, David, do you think you fooled them?
I think I fooled them with one particular part, the vanish at the end of the 3 coins.
Okay, well, let's find out what they have to say about that. Penn, Teller, what's your verdict?
David wrote the books on coin magic that we read. And seeing Spellbound and Coins Across and all those things done that well, that close, that beautifully, that perfectly, I think that because we read the books, we have a pretty good idea how he did most of the stuff. And I do not give a good damn. I'm sitting here next to Teller. I don't care if we have a pretty good idea. We have a pretty good idea because of his books. And I'm going to tell you, he fooled us. No doubt about it. There's no way we're going to do a different thing. It was beautiful, man. Lasting banishment. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Beautiful. Teller always gets to me. I do that to him. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Gorgeous.
David Rock, he fooled them, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we have to take a quick break, but don't go away because our men of the hour, Penn and Teller, will be back to perform a spectacular trick when we return. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. Now, I stand beside one of the most iconic and inspirational sights in the world, the Stars and Stripes, the beautiful flag of your country, the United States of America. Okay, and I'm English, and we love this country. So take a good look while you can, because we're going to come and take it back from you as soon as we can. But while we're waiting, why don't you enjoy the unique magical stylings of Penn and Teller?
Those are my favorite bits in our whole show right there. Handkerchief is there, and then it's gone. Sprinkles. Ooh, it's a miracle. And we're supposed to show you miracles that are, like all miracles, totally fake. We're also supposed to give you content, something to think about. And as beautiful as that moment is, it means nothing. And sometimes you can add content to a bit merely by changing the props. What if instead of using that white silk handkerchief, that meaningless piece of cloth, we would use a piece of cloth that was nothing but meaning? Now, before we go any further, we'd like to reassure you there be no disrespect toward this flag. Joe and I are proud Americans. We consider ourselves to be patriotic. We got a little more patriotic about 15 years ago. We spent time in Egypt, China, and India, because nothing can make you love the USA more than overseas travel. We were overseas, we're humbled by the realization of how much of our prosperity and our happiness, even our individual personalities, how much of all of that comes directly from the liberties that are symbolized by this flag. But even so, a couple of goofballs handling the flag on stage in Vegas, there's been a weird kind of energy to the room. This energy we're talking about, we talk about content, because of this piece of cloth on stage, there's a lot to think about. But the cloth was only one of the 3 props Teller used. He also used a magic wand and a meaningless piece of paper, which we'll replace with a meaningful piece of paper, the Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution of the United States of America. This is, no, it's not the real original Bill of Rights. We can't afford that yet. But all the words, and more importantly, all the ideas are on this paper. We have the First Amendment, which is usually abbreviated the Freedom of Speech Amendment, and speech has been defined rather broadly to include symbolic speech. And therefore, the Supreme Court has said we can do anything we want with this flag. The thinking seems to be, no matter what happens to the flag physically, symbolically, it's always protected by the Bill of Rights. So we need a piece of tinder and a very eccentric magic wand, and we can do this. And it's okay. See, the flag is gone, the Bill of Rights remains. We like to think we added a little bit of content to that bit. First of all, there's an idea that Tel and I have been talking about forever. And that is, what would happen if you were to burn a flag? Not in disgust, not in protest of anything, but rather in celebration of the very freedoms that flag symbolizes. But more relevant to our show is the ambiguity. The fact that you really know what's going on. I mean, do we burn a flag? Do we symbolically burn a flag? Or do we merely vanish a flag in a patriotic flash of fireworks? Well, it's all of those. It's none of those. It's up to you. You see, most shows and movies and TV are all fake. They're phony. They're fiction. And news and sports, they're supposed to be real. But Penn and Teller, we like to drive fast right on down the middle. Because sometimes we're showing you and telling you the truth as we see it from the bottom of our hearts. And sometimes we're lying, cheating, and swindling. And it's up to you to figure that out. We can only allow you that freedom because we're working in a free country. If we were trying to do our show in another country, a country without our Bill of Rights, well, things would be different. Because there's one thing a totalitarian government cannot tolerate, it's ambiguity. They don't care very much what you believe, as long as you all believe it together. Shouldn't be enough to just show you that the flag was fine at the end of the trick. Not in that context, no. I have to show you every step of the way. Make sure you're all thinking and feeling the exact same thing. Make sure there was no dissent. Make sure that you're all united. And once we've done that, once we've laid it all out, you can do whatever you want. Take a piece of chemically treated flash paper and a very eccentric wand, and we can do this. But it's a lousy trick. And that's why Penn and Teller is so proud to work in the United States of America. On the shore, dimly seen through the mist of the deep, where our foe's haughty host in dread silence reposes, what is that which the breeze of the towering steep, as it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses? Now it catches the gleam of the morning's first beam. In full glory reflected, it shines in the stream. 'Tis the Star-Spangled Banner, oh long may it wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Penn and Teller, ladies and gentlemen. Fabulous. That's what I call a big finish. That's our show. Join us next week for more fun. For Penn and Teller, I'm Jonathan Ross. Have a magical night.